Hey, boss, he ain't working.
Back to another episode of Pour Your Own Problems. LeBron exposed.
At 41 years old, you think I want to do that shit? Being in Memphis on a random ass Thursday. I'm not like the first guy to even talk about it in the NBA. Like we all like, you guys have to move. Just go over to Nashville. You got Vanderbilt over there. You got the NASCAR. You got a stadium. Don't they got a hockey team too?
Yeah, Predators.
Predators. Like they got everything.
Doesn't look like LeBron's going to be on the Grizzlies anytime soon. So Grizzly fans out there.
Yeah, they know. Their only chance was in 2003 if they'd have won the lottery to get me there. And I might have pulled a Eli Manning and not showed up.
That's right. I said LeBron exposed. He exposed something. The sentiments of what these athletes, celebrities are talking about. He exposed something a nuance that they often talk about in their circles about Memphis. But he wasn't the first person to say anything about it. I think with Stephen A. going at LeBron so hard about this situation, only exposes the rhetoric of if you say anything that's considered about black people, you're wrong. You can't say nothing to him. And that's how I look at this. That's how I look at this whole situation. But he's not the first person to say anything. In fact, let's review what Draymond said a few weeks back. Let's go.
And so Ant-Man's pretty blunt about it. But yes, I think they may have the worst group of hotels in the league. For sure. We had an issue there where we used to stay at one hotel in Memphis, and this dates back. We stopped staying there because their sprinklers just went off for no reason in the room and like drenched all the Andrew Bogut stuff. Like the sprinkler system, like it was a fire, just went off. Drenched all Bogut stuff. And they didn't want to do anything about it. So we switched hotels then, right? So it's been an issue. It's gotten a little better, I must say, but it's still not the other cities. So we'll see what happens in Memphis with the hotels, I guess.
It's unmarketable. And when I say it's unmarketable, it's for its accommodating. You and your little family, they may go on a trip. Y'all may go on a trip and have a great experience. You know, you go solo with your homeboys, with your homegirls, you may have a great experience. But that doesn't mean that that's everybody's experience, especially when you're used to having the best of the best. And my argument is, why is it wrong for you to have the best of the best when you're going to experience something? Because I want the best of the best when I'm going to spend my money. It may not be Draymond type of money. It may not be LeBron type of money, but when I go somewhere, I still expect a certain standard of the best I still want the best quality my dollars can afford. So I don't think necessarily it's about them not having the best quality of things, but what can you accommodate me? What can you assure me to make sure that I'm having a great time or I'm being comfortable the way that I want to be comfortable. And I think that's the underlying thing that they are really talking about. It's not about the city. It's not about, the culture, the black culture. No, y'all got to realize that we live in a capitalistic country. Can you bring businesses there en masse to help the city grow? Can you, what are your accommodations for any and everybody? I mean, Trump just had to go there and wreck shop like he did in D.C. When your crime down, when you have businesses that's coming in, it's lucrative. The city can grow then. The city can advance. But when you have high crime, don't nobody want to go there. Don't nobody want to do this. And I'm not saying people don't go there. I'm just saying the type of people that would probably want to be there or want to visit is not accommodating for what they want, the experience that they desire. So let's keep it going.
The hate flying into Memphis, bro.
What'd you coming to that FedEx? Them boys maybe had him for cracking.
I mean, we're gonna stay at that West, and I'm gonna walk across. I'm walking across the street on game day to get to there. Like I was a lot of nights I went sleepless, bro. For real, bro. Y'all was tough.
I mean, for like, and then I want to add too, for years, y'all sat here and criticized John Morant about his behavior. And he acting, and to be honest, in my opinion, he acting like the environment. He's acting like the environment. But now that a LeBron, a Draymond say something, it's foul. Listen to what Stephen A. had to say about LeBron.
It was a breath of fresh air. He talked about how playing in Memphis, it was like being in a dungeon every day. A gym with no windows and all of this other kind of stuff. He never said a negative word about the great city of Memphis, the people that's there, the fan base that's there, how supportive they are of the team, et cetera, et cetera. He never uttered a negative word. So in that regard, when LeBron James was talking about Memphis, specifically as a basketball player, wanting to play for Memphis, he was not wrong and he was not foul. He was factual because you have players there that want to leave. You have players who have left and have been happy about it. And you have free agents that don't want no parts of going there. But that's about the team and its facilities. When we're talking about the city, it's an entirely different matter altogether. And that's where I come in. I've heard from Mayor Paul Young over the last few months, once or twice, because I was critical of the city of Memphis. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here months later, and I stand by what I said. I ain't backing up. I said Memphis and its politicians needed to get their act together to make sure they do everything they can to fix the city for the marvelous citizens that they have. I did not say that Paul Young wasn't doing his job. He just arrived. He's elected in 2024, if I remember correctly. He just arrived. But I said stuff needed to be cleaned up because it wasn't ideal. That is what I said. And I stand by that. I talked about its crime rate. I talked about how upscale the city of Nashville is compared to Memphis. And I talked about Black citizens in the city of Memphis, okay, that deserve better. And I stand by that. I'm not backing up from that one bit. Memphis is 63% Black last time I checked. And I want my peoples to flourish. I want them to be treated better. I want them to have better everything. And if I think a city is not doing enough, then I'm going to have a problem with that. Now, in fairness to Memphis, these numbers are according to the Memphis Police Department. It's pointing out how it made meaningful progress in the year 2025 toward building a stronger, safer Memphis through focused enforcement, strategic policing, and strong partnerships. According to them, Memphis saw a 27% decrease in overall Part 1 crimes, a 26% decrease in murders, a 22% decrease in aggravated assaults, a 31% decrease in robberies, a 48% decrease in carjackings. This is compared to 2023, just 2 years earlier. Overall crime is down 41%. Violent crime is down 30%. Murders are down 37%. Props to Mayor Paul Young and the job that he's doing. But we also need to understand.
And like I stated earlier, it helps that Trump brought in reinforcement. When the crime is down, when the city can flourish, when the politicians aren't letting any and everything just go to waste in your city, you can have the best of the best. Memphis can be more accommodating like Nashville. Y'all got to use y'all context clues and stop getting so offended about Black this, Black that. No. When we talking about money, we talking about accommodations, and there's nothing wrong with that.
You got stuff to clean up. So in that regard, again, we can't throw shade on LeBron until we take into account knowing that 63% of the people there are black, knowing that they need this team to continue to help fuel the economy, the local economy there, as opposed to big up in Nashville and saying, why don't you just go there? Not thinking about the citizens at all.
That is not LeBron's job. That is not LeBron's job. In fact, Stephen A., you always, I either want to be in South Beach or I want to be in LA during the playoffs. I ain't apologizing to nobody about that. You say that all the time. Why? Because it accommodates your lifestyle and what you want to do. So what are you talking about? And then I see people come in and crying and whining. Well, fix your city. Get these hooligans out of the streets. So what does this have to do with LeBron? Nothing. You're making it a bigger deal than it has to be. Let's keep it going.
I'm not even telling you that LeBron James can't feel that way. I'm saying to say it so flippantly amongst a bunch of white dudes on a golf course, knowing the cameras are rolling and videoing you without any regard for what kind of effect that would have on a black populace is problematic. Especially when I don't know if it was your sneakers or whatever it was that you just finished promoting months ago about Black history and Martin Luther King and civil rights. I think you wore sneakers or something commemorating all of that. When I spoke about what this city needs in order to look out for the vast majority of its citizens who happen to be black that are living there. I did it right here on the mic and the cameras, with the cameras rolling. Dead serious as hell. Because I ain't trying to let nobody off the hook on that. I wasn't dressed in shorts, lollygagging on a golf course with a bunch of peeps that don't look anything like the folks that reside in Memphis.
Dog, this has nothing to do with race, and y'all will sit here and make things racial when it doesn't even have to be. Because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, we live in a capitalistic country, and when you have high crime, when you don't have flourishing businesses coming into your cities, your states, this is what you're going to get, these type of environments. Yeah, it may be businesses that are there, like a Memphis Grizzlies that feed people, but it's no different than what's going on in Chicago with the Bears trying to leave. You know why? Because of high crime, because of these politicians like Mayor Brendan Johnson in Chicago, and then J.B. Pritzker as the governor that can't seem to get a deal done, that are really forcing the hand of the Chicago Bears to move to Indiana. You want to talk about LeBron, but then you're not going to talk about the fact that the Bears are leaving Chicago. What are they going to be now? The Gary Bears or whatever the case may. Come on, the Hammond Bears. What are we talking about? It seems to not be so lucrative for fans and everybody to get the experience that they want out of the Chicago Bears. So they're moving. It's no different than what LeBron was ultimately saying. It's all about the experience. You take it being out of a racial comment about black, white, all this, it's about the customer's experience. Because if you're thinking about it, when he's staying there, he becomes a customer. His customer experience is crappy when it comes down to Memphis. It doesn't matter if they black. It doesn't matter if they white. The customer experience. So what are we talking about? I think this is fugazi with Stephen A. talking about, but let's hear what LeBron had to say, his rebuttal.
Man, taking
those comments.
What do you mean, taking?
People been upset about the fact that Memphis was looked at as a team that, a lot of black people in Memphis, right, compared to like Nashville, for example. So
Did I say I don't like black people?
No, I didn't say that. But there were people who were wondering why Memphis was targeted. Like
Milwaukee was too. Did they miss that one too? They didn't see that?
not as much commentary.
Oh, yeah, okay. I said Milwaukee as well. 41 years old. There's two cities I do not like playing in right now. And that's Milwaukee and that's Memphis. What is the problem? I don't like going home either. Shit, and I'm from there. What is people are ridiculous. They also get mad at my son being on the team too. So what are we talking about? People need to figure out other ways to put their energy to other things that's important. Like seriously, I'm not talking about the city, like the people in Memphis. I don't like staying at the Hyacinth. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Nothing. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? People need to shut the hell out.
Like, yeah, like he said, like, what's wrong with that? It's nothing wrong with saying that I don't like something, and we already know why he don't like it. It's not accommodating for his lifestyle. It's not accommodating as an NBA player. It's no different from if you have a business but don't have a wheelchair ramp. Oh, I would love to go, but I would love to come and be a patron to your business, but you don't have a wheelchair ramp to accommodate access for people who have this disability. So what are we talking about? He said nothing wrong. And I think y'all try to pull race into any and everything when it's not even justifiable. And how I look at this, LeBron just exposed how y'all thinking patterns are so warped instead of actually hearing the real message. Like I stated before, man, it has to be some form of nuance when we talking about this whole situation. Like, he's not the first person to say something about it. I think it probably would have just been another meritless narrative, like when Draymond said something or when KD said something. But just because it's LeBron James, I feel like Stephen A felt like he just had to say something, and you completely wrong. You can't give us the evidence of what's actually going on in Memphis, and now that the mayor, along with Trump, has decreased the violence and the turmoil that has been running rapid in the city, you can't ignore the other side, and that's the fruit. The fruit that is being poured into Memphis is not enough to accommodate a LeBron, to accommodate patrons at his caliber. That doesn't mean it's not a great city. But when you talk about accommodations, it sounds like Nashville would accommodate more and more because of the businesses that's already there. So I don't think it's a slap in the face to Memphis or anything like that. I think y'all are just, from what y'all hearing, is warped. But hey, sippers, sippets, y'all let me know what y'all think about in the comments. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It's your boy Mercy. I'm out.